You look at me, I've tried to be as open as I can. Why don't you look at me? I'm tired of being the invisible man. The invisible man. Oh, the invisible man.
Well, everyone, welcome to another edition of The Invisible Man. My name is Mark Davis Stallard. I hope you're all doing well, and hope the weather isn't too bright and too sunny out here in Winnipeg that is keeping you away from watching the show. So thanks, everyone. And, of course, with me, as usual, is my good friend Ryan Jans. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, I'm doing good. Yeah, it's really quite lovely outside, so... all you people tell your friends to watch again and 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 again so that we can get some likes and looks on this video. So
Indeed. So please
all those you could join us. So
yeah, so subscribe and share and all that other good stuff. Trying to attract as many people to the show as we can. That would be great. So let's introduce our guest. So our guest is from Winnipeg, Manitoba. She's an indie pop artist whose sound is influenced by junky, breakups, insomnia, and true love, all wrapped up in memorable melodies and haunting harmonies in an attempt to make you feel sparkling and weightless. So Lana Winterhalt, how are you doing? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing great, thanks. Yeah, you have a perfect voice for that. I'm going to get you to narrate my life.
Excellent, I'd love to.
Before I come out in every show, you'll do the
I'll do
you'll
that.
do the intro of what my music's like.
We will gladly MC anyone's events there. And maybe
Perfect.
We'll do it for free.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So Lana, first time on the show. We've been looking forward to this for several months now. So thanks for finally joining us. And maybe if you can tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, you said it all. No, I'm I'm Lana Winterhalt. I'm an artist in Winnipeg and also producer. I've been branching into production the last little bit. I'm a songwriter. I'm signed with High Priestess Publishing in Toronto, so I do some songwriting for sync and commercials and licensing, that sort of thing. And yeah, besides that, I've just been knitting all pandemic and that's sleeping. I don't know what's everyone else doing.
So you said knitting.
Yeah. Knitting, yeah. I haven't even knit before this past year, and then I had a friend who said that they started knitting throughout the pandemic. I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll try it. And now I'm addicted. Like, it's beautiful outside. It's so sunny and gorgeous, and here I am tucked underneath my blanket knitting on the couch. Like, something's wrong with me. This is not okay.
So are you going to be knitting your own merch?
I actually am. Yes.
I was joking. I
know that was a joke question, but I actually am knitting some toques for next winter. So.
Excellent. That's fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really into the whole like DIY kind of merch thing. I'm a huge like crafter, sewer, whatever. So I'm making a bunch of random stuff. So I still like to, support some local t-shirt companies and embroiderers, that sort of thing. So still get some like good merch from there. But I make a bunch of random stuff too.
So you're a little way away from making your own t-shirts.
Yeah, a little ways away. But I have Googled how to screen print. So I'm like, okay, Lana, back up. Like, that is way too much time. Focus on the music. Get someone else to do the t-shirts.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So our first, we actually have the first question from our audience, and it's not the question you were thinking, but it is coming from Muttley. What do you enjoy doing the most? Singing, songwriting, writing or producing, or knitting? And I think we all kind of got the. They're all up there.
This is gonna be really revealing. No. That is probably a joke question, but I think in reality, knitting's very high up there. But I have been spending the most of my time recently kind of diving into production as opposed to more like the songwriting side of things. I've been really diving into production. So that is where I've been spending a lot of my time. And I'm a very obsessive person. When I find an interest or a hobby, like I will do it until like I have carpal tunnel, you know, like I'm sitting there knitting like, ow, my hands hurt so bad. But I'm definitely the kind of person who like, I get home from work, I go downstairs to the computer, I start working on a song, and next thing you know, it's midnight, and I'm just so obsessed about that sort of stuff. So it's definitely been production that's been stealing most of my time lately.
Right on.
Yeah.
And what are you finding in terms of your production tools? Like, are you using Pro Tools, or are you using more of the Cubase, or unlike me with my Mac, I use GarageBand for like very early stuff, and then we move into something a little bit more customizable. But so what do you end up using a lot more?
Yeah, I started on GarageBand as well, which, you know, was super helpful and user-friendly just to kind of get to know everything. And then I moved into using Logic. So I use Logic now for everything. Okay. I did take some courses in school with Pro Tools, so I have a little bit of knowledge with that too. But Logic's just always been a good friend to me, so that's kind of what I've been using.
How are you finding with that capture? I mean, if you were to take a look at like a screenshot of GarageBand and say Cubase, they actually look very similar. I mean, there's obviously some, you know, we have to make ourselves a little bit distinct, but in terms of like a workflow, in terms of like getting things set up and laid out and doing like a rough mix, they're all pretty similar. Do you find that, or do you find is there huge differences? I guess when you get into like I want to EQ something and I want to really drill down into like a particular channel or a particular track, they get different and things are laid out differently, but the core of them are all pretty similar. Do you find that, or am I often
I agree, and I think all of my production at this point is mostly digital. Like I don't do a lot of analog anything coming into the channels, so I think that might be where things might get a little bit different. But for right now, with mostly digital production, I find that they are pretty similar in workflow and layout, and I think maybe it has more to do with like I'm kind of a diehard Apple user, and I have been for many, many years. So I think when you're kind of used to their platforms and the way things are laid out, then it is kind of easier to use GarageBand and then transition into, Logic, and your brain kind of functions in that same way. But yeah, I think you're right. They're all pretty similar in the way that they are kind of laid out. But
I think in the core of just being able to get what's down on like recorded, they're all pretty similar with a click and interface and drag and drop and here. That's all pretty similar. When it gets down into like I want to EQ something or I want to add effects or something, then it gets a little bit more different. Mark could probably speak to that a little bit better. We were talking about the differences between the different production platforms, like Cubase versus Pro Tools versus Logic versus GarageBand. Do you find, Mark, I mean, how many of them have you used? I know we use Cubase on our initial album, but you've done some recording in the last little while. Have you tried something different with Cubase?
No, I've been actually sticking with I stuck with an old copy of Cubase. I don't have the money to upgrade. And I find it works fine. I think really it's the hardware that makes all the difference. As long as you've got a decent mic and decent input on your computer, as long as you can catch a clean performance, and the rest of it's, I think they're all a muchness. I did use Ableton Live, so many years ago I can't remember how. And no, they all seem to be very, very similar. They have little different quirks, but
yeah.
Yep.
No, I've one band we specifically used Pro Tools, I'm pretty sure, to do our demo. Mark and I, like I said, we used Cubase, and the very first thing, you could call it my audition for Mark. It was the song that we're gonna play today. I've re-recorded it, and I redid it in GarageBand, but I actually did it in totally 100% free. It was in Audacity.
Oh, nice.
And if you want to talk about challenging, oh my word,
Yeah.
it was trying to get the first track down, and then add a click track, and then add a drum track, and then add this, and then there's no punch-in feature, or at least there wasn't. There probably is an add-on for it now, but there was no punch-in tool, so I had to position manually, give myself a count in, and we got clearing out the room. Some guy get up and go to the washroom there, man.
What are you doing?
While Ryan's talking.
Yeah, or whatever. I'm used to people not listening
Just
to me or
troll
getting
Ryan
bored with
the
me.
whole
Like, it's like my daughter is 3, and I'll be like talking to my wife about something, and she'll be like, Daddy. I'm like, yeah, just Daddy's talking to Mom. No, Daddy. What? Like, there's a brown cat outside. Like, oh.
Way more interesting, Ryan. Way more interesting.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like we have someone in the audience wants to say something. Yeah, Elna says, "Can't wait to hear it, Ryan. You owe me a song." So I just want to let everybody know that we do have it queued up, and it will be probably the last thing that you hear on the show today. So you'll have to wait right to the end. We've got Lana is going to be performing a couple of songs today as well, so we want to give her the focus. There you go.
Yeah, we didn't want to scare you all away before Lana got a chance to actually show how good she is.
Indeed.
Yeah, clear the room, and then I'll just play to you guys.
Yeah, no. We want to promote you, Lana. We want to give you
Right.
We'll give you the stage first. I'll clear out the room at the end. I promise.
Perfect.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So here's a question that's kind of recently been added to my list of questions I ask frequently is, do you have any musical influences, that might surprise your fans?
Ooh. I think that is such a good question. I grew up listening to a lot of emo and pop punk and a little bit of hardcore, and I think my dad had like zero filter when he was playing music in the car when me and my sister were little, because we were listening to like Velvet Revolver and like Meatloaf and just like things that, you know, probably other typical like 10-year-olds wouldn't really know or like sing in the car, you know. So I feel like and not like classic dad rock, but like, you know, some of those more alternative rock in the early 2000s had a huge impact on just kind of the music I love and continue listening to. So even now I'm still very attracted to punk and emo and like anything that sounds a little bit like, you know, the musicians haven't showered in a few weeks or something. I still love that. But I think on the very far end of that, I really love some very specific pop artists, and I don't love everything pop. Like I don't typically listen to, you know, the radio or whatever, top 40, but there's a few artists like Ariana Grande. I'm just obsessed with her. And it's like, you know, there's or like it's these artists that are like, I don't know, is there a lot of value there in like I don't know, is it very deep? I don't know, but I love it. So I think there's like definitely some strange influences from like, yeah, the pop world. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's such a great question. I kind of have a bunch of strange little influences. I also love like just really poorly recorded, like someone playing their acoustic guitar in their room and they have like a kind of bad voice and it's just like they're just like screaming or like crying. It's like, oh yeah, there's some emotion here. oh
well then you should definitely stick around to the end of the show, because
you're gonna scream and cry and play some bad guitar.
No. I'm gonna play competent guitar, and
Perfect.
all this stuff on there is it's all recorded by me. Everything here, in fact, most people they point out to that bass because it's really that was my metal, and actually these two right here. There's the 6-string and then that one, which are my metal basses, and then there's the big stand up the stand up one right there. There's another
You
guitar
are playing
up
now.
to the side, so
you
there's
are stealing the show.
there's a little bit of everything there, right?
Nice.
So no, I won't be doing that. It's a recording for a reason. I'm good, but not that good. So.
And just to tease everybody, it's actually a lot better than I have pretended that it was going to be. So it's actually pretty good. So hang around.
Nice.
Yes, if anybody who's watched the show will realize, yes, I usually do get down on myself quite a bit, and that's just kind of me. I think that's just an artist. That's something we, as all artists, kind of just get down on ourselves. Be like, oh man, this is total rubbish. I can't believe I just wasted like 2 hours of my life on this, or like, it's actually a lot more than 2 hours. It's like, it's about a week. It's about a week's worth. And then what's funny is I played it for my wife, and she's like, oh yeah, sounds good. I was like, that's it? That's all you're going to give me? It sounds good?
Like burst into tears.
It's horrible.
I need more. Worship me. No.
No. I know better. My wife is a classically trained vocalist, so I was like, yeah,
Okay.
no. Just like, no. I'm not going to ask. No. It's more like, honey, can you help me with a harmony, please?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's like, yes, I'll go do the dishes, and yes, I'll bottle feed the baby. Yes, yeah. Please help me with a harmony.
Trade-offs, yeah.
And she's like, it's just a third. You're just harmonizing on a third. I'm like, yes, stop. I didn't take 4 years of music theory.
Exactly, yeah.
So we have a little bit of pushback from the audience. We have a little bit of pushback. Muttley says, hang on, did she just describe 2000s as dad rock? I feel old now.
No, I was saying I wasn't listening to our, the classic, like, I don't even know any classic dad rock bands. Like,
I've got one here for you. You'll know right away. Hang on a second.
Here we go.
All right. You ready?
Ready.
All right. Hang on. Let's just adjust this mic here. Let's see if you can tell. All right. Hopefully we don't get hit with a copyright here. Oh, now I'm nervous. Yeah, no, it's done. I'm too nervous now. But I don't know if anyone figured that one out. It's Dust in the Wind by Kansas.
Nice.
There you go. There's some dad rock for you.
That's some dad rock.
Yeah, there we go. Chris got it. Chris just got it. Chris Lady joining us here in the comments. Yeah, you got it right away. That, and I promise you, I play better on my song. That was a very, very spur of the moment on my. I would call guitar my second instrument. So bass is
What's your first? Oh, bass is your first.
Bass is my. I identify as a bass person who can play guitar. There you go.
Oh, nice.
Instead of the other way how it goes,
Yeah.
most bass players in bands are like guitar players who couldn't get a gig, so they just become a bass player. So I actually say I'm a bass player and I can play guitar. There you go.
Sounds good.
Good.
Just want to say a special hello to Chris Lady, who's in the audience. So those of you who have actually noticed the audience members getting up and going to the bathroom and flagging us down to get our attention for comments, that's actually came out of a conversation that Chris Lady and I had just a few days back. So thanks, Chris, for putting that germ of an idea in my head. So thanks a lot. So I think we are at about the 20-minute mark. Lana, would you honour us with a tune?
I would love to, yeah.
Okay. So I will give you the focus. It's all yours.
Perfect. Yeah, so I've been working on quite a few projects over the last few years, and my first full-length album to come out was called If and When, and that came out at the end of 2018, and I went on a Western Canadian tour with that. And it was kind of the start of the new Lana Winterhalt musician as I am now. Before that, I was kind of playing just a lot more folky type songs, and this album really kind of redirected into indie pop and more of what I wanted to do long term. So it was a really amazing album to make, and I made it with a local producer here in Winnipeg named Ellis Thiessen. He's super incredible, very talented. But this song is from that album, and it's called Rich White Kids. I'll buy 2 tickets to anywhere. Please come with me. I'm so sick of these rich white kids talking like they have all the answers. We're all just fools. You ask me how I'm doing. I don't want to scare you. I am starting to understand why people want to float through the ceiling. So I tell you I'm okay. But if I stand tall enough, I can almost see the light. I wrote a poem while you were sleeping. I never do that. I'm afraid if I don't get all my words out before I fall asleep, my dreams will haunt me. I think I'm gonna quit my job, and I did, even though I like it. I'm afraid to walk downtown with strangers I know nothing about. Will I be on the news? But if I stand tall enough, I can almost see the light. I think we should move away from Winnipeg. Or is it like this everywhere? And I'm just unaware. But if I stand tall enough, I can almost see the light. And if I reach far enough, I can almost feel the warmth. I think I'm just one of those rich white kids that I try to get away from. The end.
That was great.
Such a
That
sweet voice.
song, yeah. You played that as our sound check, and I wasn't paying a ton of attention to it when you were doing your sound check because you were more working with Mark.
Right.
Now, as I'm listening to that, that was that reminded me so much of Feist.
Yes,
So
thank you.
it was like I was listening, like as we were sort of like sharing and you're doing your thing and we were getting ready for the show, I was like, oh, this is reminding me of someone, I can't think of it. And then it was only like a couple, like a verse chorus kind of thing. And then listening to it, I was like, that's like Feist. That's like 100%.
Awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. I get that comparison a few times, and I always love what I do because I just love Feist. I think she's so incredible. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. In fact, if Mark was to apply that question that he asked before, about an artist who most people wouldn't think would have influenced you, or that you find Feist would be right up there with some of the weirder ones that would be there.
Yeah,
right up
she's
there,
definitely
probably with
one of my big influences. Yeah.
Yeah, probably right up there with Earth, Wind, and Fire for me. So.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
So just want to let everybody know, if you liked Alana's voice as much as we do, there are lots of links in the description for this video. So Facebook, look up; YouTube, look down, and you can links to pretty much everything I can find. So Facebook, YouTube, her website. I think we've got Spotify in there. A whole load of others. Go and buy her music. It's fantastic stuff.
Woo! Thank you.
So we had some good response from the audience. Okay, I am just making sure I get back to that place. Elna says, I like her voice. And then there's something about a young priest and an old priest, but I think that's outside of what we're talking about here.
Yes, that's a separate conversation altogether. So
Elna says, nice songwriting as well. Chris Lady says, sweetness. Just sorting through the other chats. Elna again says, that was really, really good, well done.
Thank you.
And Elna says, I'll be sharing it on my Facebook. There we go. So thanks, Elna. That's
awesome.
Great.
Thank you.
There we go. I don't see any other comments, and I'm assuming that all that other chatter in there is not meant to be read on air.
It was more a reaction to the silhouette, and I think Muttley was teasing Elna about it being a ghost. Okay. So he said, "Should we get you a priest?" And it was yes, a young priest and an old priest. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, what's wrong?
So
with
there,
your
that effectively.
What's wrong with your bladder, man? Right. Come on, you just being. Come on. Jeez.
Well, at least it's not the hecklers that you know. Yeah. At least we're not getting heckled.
Although having said that, I think they want to say something.
Uh-oh.
That was great. Those guys make It's All in the Mind sound like they suck. But what am I saying? It's All in the Mind does suck.
Those guys. Why do we invite them back all the time? I don't know. Right.
Oh, man.
Completely off my game here. There we are, right. Back to the interview.
So that happened.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a little bit of a movie critique on your bio. There was a big plot hole in your bio. You talk about living in Winnipeg and the musical things you've done, and suddenly out of nowhere, you come back from Saskatoon. From Saskatchewan after several years. Now, the way your bio reads is that when you came back, you seem to have been fired up, and you've achieved an awful lot when you came back. Now, did something happen in Saskatchewan, or that to make that happen, or am I reading into it a little too deeply?
I think so many things happened in Saskatchewan that it's that could be a whole other show on its own. No, I was actually in Saskatchewan because I went to a private Christian college there, and I used to be deeply religious, and now I am. Don't tell my mom, but just not as much.
What's wrong with Providence College? Providence, that was a decent school. all the best people, all the best atheists that graduated from Providence College.
Yes, very true.
Yeah, that's me. I went there, got my degree, and it was a wonderful school. I mean, not that's a brilliant anymore, but yeah. So if you want a good education and you're interested in religion, go to Providence College or Providence College University now.
Yeah.
Anyhow, they're not paying.
But yeah, I was there. I went there for 4 years and did my degree, and then I got married. I met my husband there, got married, and then we worked at the college for 2 years as deans of the dormitory. So we were there for too long, and it was just a very, very small town, very conservative, and it was far away from any sort of music scene. So the closest place that was there was 15 minutes away, was Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, which has about 4 bands, and everyone goes to Regina. So we went to, there's a bit of the music scene in Regina that I was able to be a part of, but not a huge, not able to be, in any great capacity. Saskatoon was 2.5 hours away, so that wasn't always a big thing either. But then, yeah, we moved back to Winnipeg, and it felt like finally I can, really dive into a music scene and start playing some more shows and that sort of thing. So, yeah, it wasn't necessarily a huge reason that we left, but it was just many years of, okay, we gotta get somewhere with a little more life happening. So yeah.
Excellent. Now you've produced quite a few CDs. You've got quite a catalogue. So, and I think I've got 6 CDs.
Yeah.
And your latest one is Still. Mm-hmm. So there's on the screen.
Yes.
So what's is there any story behind that, or is it just a nice collection of songs?
No, totally. There's always a story. So over the pandemic, at the beginning of the pandemic, I was laid off, and I spent some good chunk of time just in my jammies all day working on production in the basement. And I produced my other EP, Hold On To Me, and so that was kind of the first musical project I did during the pandemic. Yeah, there's the cover art there. So that was I start to finish did it in 2 weeks. So all the songs were written and produced and recorded within 2 weeks. So I wanted to challenge myself in that way, try to see, what could I make in a short amount of time. And kind of just, I wanted to get back to just releasing music because I wanted to, because, I liked the music and I wanted to put it out. Because I think so much of being an artist these days, if you're really trying to make it, is about, the business and planning your brand and becoming a social media influencer, basically. And I just wanted to get back to, I made some songs, I'm just gonna put them up online somewhere, just enjoy the music. So yeah, that's what I did with my first EP, Hold On To Me. And then throughout the course of the year, I just loved that so much. I thought, I just want to make music and put it out. Like I don't want to be so consumed with the business side of it and trying to do everything right in that regard. So Still was a collaboration effort with a local Winnipeg artist, Moonbell, who also happens to be my husband. So yeah, we worked on that for a couple months in the end of 2020. And basically where that came from is we just were, like everybody else, pretty tired and sick of the pandemic and feeling like we were longing for something else. And so yeah, we created these 6 I think it's 6 instrumental tracks just to accompany people on the journey. So if they're studying online or working from home online or whatever people were up to, we wanted to provide some background tracks just for people to relax and feel good. So yeah, that's where that came from. We released it at the beginning of this year. And we also had a accompanying book of poetry. So we got some local, well, not just local, so across Canada, and one in Nigeria, some different poets to write some accompanying poetry with the instrumental songs. So yeah, that was it was definitely a fun project to kind of devote our time to in pandemic. Yeah, it was great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, has the lockdown changed the way you approach music now?
Totally. Yeah. I've chatted with a few different people about this. That before the pandemic, for sure, when I wasn't so much into production, I would always start songwriting from my instrument, which makes sense. I'd sit down with my guitar or at the piano and write a song. Whereas now, since I'm so into production, I'm a lot more focused on, if I start writing a song, I'll usually have like a lyric or, some sort of little concept in my head, but I'll generally sit down at the computer and just start producing it and working out different beats or different synth sounds or whatever. And so I feel like right now my approach to music, just because our whole lives are online right now, my approach to songwriting and writing music usually starts right now with sitting down at the computer and producing something. So I always have to remind myself, like, you're a musician. Go take your guitar and sit on the front porch and play some music. Like, you don't always have to be staring at a screen. So that's I always have to keep reminding myself that, or else I'm gonna just shrivel up in this basement, turn into a raisin.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you should say that too, because it's sometimes I'll be in that position. I'm working on animation or some video production, or I'm just watching YouTube videos and I'm like, I've got all these guitars behind me. I should pick them up from time to time.
Yeah, so, exactly.
You know?
All these instruments I spent money on, I should play them sometime.
It's funny that one you should say that, but it's really sometimes you just need to be reminded. It's not that you don't want to do it. Just remember you're a musician.
Seriously, yeah.
So another question following up with that. Obviously, the lockdown has pretty much halted live music here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. What is the first thing that you would like to do once the lockdown is over? Not that you necessarily have planned, but what would you like to do once the lockdown is over?
Ooh. As a human being, I would like to travel to Saskatchewan to see my husband's family, because we haven't seen them in a super long time. As a musician, well, honestly, I think I don't even know if I'm longing to play a show. I'm longing to be at a show right now. And so I do eventually want to obviously play a show again outside of the lockdown, but I don't want to be the first one. It's too intimidating. And it's so funny thinking, like, I haven't practiced with my band in almost a year. Like, if we got a gig when things open up, say in like July or August, it would be like, oh my goodness, we have to like relearn all this repertoire and all my new stuff. Like, we have a lot of work to do, and bands can't even practice right now. So I don't want to be the first one. I want to go to somebody else's show and I want to just be sweaty and not care that other people are breathing beside me, and just drink some beers. And so that's what I'm really looking forward to. But then eventually just playing some shows. It'll be so nice just to be with people in a room where there's not a max capacity of 20 people or whatever. Like, I'm very excited just to listen to some music with other people. Yeah,
that sounds great. And I feel you on that. Don't want to be the first one. I think that as musicians, the general feeling that we're getting, because we ask similar questions to all of our guests as well as our musician friends, off air, and is that we just want to get out and play. I don't think there's going to be any problem with getting live music out into venues. My concern is, will there be an audience? We'll see.
Yeah, it's very true. I think it'll be really interesting to see, and maybe I don't have a very good scientific perspective on this vaccines and everything, but it'll be really interesting to see, with the new, when everyone is vaccinated and things are kind of opened back up, is it going to be is it actually going to be a return to normalcy? Is there going to be a very slow creeping of, very slow trickling in of people still, doing outdoor shows or still encouraging you to wear masks or that sort of thing? Like, it'll just be really, obviously we'll follow the guidance from the CDC, but it'll be really interesting to see like how things are going to pick back up. But lots of venues have been closed for, the whole pandemic. And I hope they have a show every night, even if it's a small audience. Just get a different band in there every single night, because they need our support too. I think of the Park Theater and the Goodwill and all these venues that really need some butts in seats. So it'll be interesting to see how it rolls out.
Okay, right. You've just opened up the segue beautifully now into venues.
I was
venues
just,
in Winnipeg.
If you weren't going to jump on it, I was going to do it.
The zoo. Are you going to miss it?
Sorry, I missed what you said.
The zoo on Osborne.
The zoo.
Are you going to miss it?
I feel like the zoo is one of those places that's like, will I actually miss it? No, but will I miss just like the hilarious drama or like weird stuff that always comes out of there? Yeah, I'm gonna miss that. Like,
that's the entertaining part. Like,
exactly.
I remember going to. I've played the zoo a couple of times with another band, and it's just like it's all the stuff that goes with the zoo that makes that experience. Like I wouldn't say like downplay like the bands that we played with and opened for and all that. So like it was all great. We're all great musician. Did great musicianship and did whatever. But just like the people that came in and out of the zoo were just. You can't make that stuff up, man.
You cannot. It was such a diverse, eclectic group of people that is like you truly have no idea what might happen tonight, like
well, and it's
came to hear some good music and we don't know what's going on now.
Because you could go there and you could have a guy who rolls up in like a muscle shirt and like and a mullet, and he's the guy who's got the T-bird with the cutout roof, and and then you've got someone like who plays music similar to yourself, who's very indie pop and influenced by Feist. It was just like a huge melting pot, and so that part of it is going to be missed. But I will not miss hearing the sticky sound of the floors.
That is so accurate. Honestly, if I could think of one word to describe the zoo, it's just sticky.
Actually, it reminds me. I think I said this before, but there was a scene in Third Rock from the Sun. I don't know if you remember the sitcom.
Yep, that's it.
Where what's his name? French. I forget his name. He's got his eyes closed. He's shuffling in this theatre trying to get to a seat, and he falls over, and all you hear is deadpan. I'm stuck to the floor.
That's absolutely it.
That's the zoo.
Absolutely.
But you know what?
Absolutely.
In the midst of this pandemic, I'm longing for a sticky venue right now. I don't care anything. I'll stick to the floor. I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Lovely. Okay. And on that high notes, would you be up for giving us another song, Lana?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Now, I do have a question about the last song you played before you got.
Sure.
It was I noticed that while you were playing, I think you scratched your ear, and the guitar was still making noise. So, what tuning do you have your guitar, or was that just the open strings?
Yeah, I have it in an open tuning. Okay. So I love to play in just a open D. I think it's so beautiful. It's so resonant. Nice. A lot of the times I play in like an open D. Or open E, but I love it because I can scratch my ear. I can just be strumming, not playing anything, and sounds like I know what I'm doing. So it's good.
Yeah, it sounded great. I think last week I played a song, and it was I just got the standard tuning, but I was playing A minor, and then the second chord was an E minor, but I don't play all the notes, and so I could just take my hand right off the fretboard. And so I thought, well, maybe that's what you were doing. It didn't sound like that's what you were doing, but. Excellent.
No, it's a karaoke track, didn't you know?
We suspect it sounded too good to be live. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to play guitar. It's a prop. Wouldn't that be a fun surprise on the show?
Yeah. I mean, have you ever seen me pick up most of these? No. That's actually just my wallpaper behind me.
They're just behind you, Mark.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, I'll give you back the screen, so it's all yours, and we will chat when you get back, or when we get back.
Sure. So I have, I guess this might actually be the first time I formally announce it, is that I have a new EP coming out in June, and it's very different than some of my last stuff. Kind of like I said before, I've just been wanting to make music that I like and put it out. So this EP is 3 songs, and they're very summer focused. The EP is called Summer Magic, and I thought I just want to create 3 summer songs that are fun and not too emotionally traumatic for me to keep bringing up and singing about, as a lot of my other songs are. So this song from it is called Movie Star, and I have never played it live before, so we'll see how it goes. But this song is basically just about a summer when I didn't have any friends. When we just moved to Winnipeg and I didn't have friends yet, and so I was doing a lot of sitting around, and so here it is. Every morning, check my phone. I don't see nothing. Waiting for someone to call. Really, anybody. Hit me up once in a while. Make me feel special. Invite me out, I'll pick you up. I don't need anything too complicated. Oh, pick me up in your parents' car. I don't need to feel like a movie star. I just want to feel cared for. Don't you want that too? Or am I reading too much into you? Try to give you my devotion. You don't want it. Try to show you that I care, but you don't. I send you texts, you leave me on red. There's nothing new here. Invite me out, I'll pick you up. That's all I want. Oh, pick up in your parents' car. I don't need to feel like a movie star. I just want to feel cared for. Don't you want that too? Or am I reading too much into you? Pick me up in your car. 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 Oh, pick me up in your parents' car. I don't need to feel like a movie star. I just want to feel cared for. Don't you want that too? Or am I reading too much into you?
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Here we go. We've actually got
Very
Stacey. Stacey James has actually joined us. So Stacey, I don't know if you know Stacey, Lana, a wonderful singer-songwriter from right here in Winnipeg, and she says, "Love that pre-chorus into the hook," and
Nice.
oh, I like her! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! So yeah, fantastic.
And she's actually just added now a great vocal melody in the chorus. So simple yet emotionally loaded. Oh yeah, very good. So
That's awesome.
if you're like Stacey and you absolutely are loving what you hear, all the information to get or follow or all that stuff for Lana is up. Look up in Facebook, look down in YouTube. All that stuff is there. Go buy a CD, buy a book of poetry. I was actually just looking through your site. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of really cool stuff that is there. So please go help support our local artists here.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Now we have.
Can I
a
do
question.
Can I do a real quick? Oh yeah, question.
I'll go for it. Nope.
I just want to do a real quick little plug is that I have a Mother's Day live stream show tomorrow. If anyone would like to check it out,
Excellent.
It is going to be so wholesome because it is featuring my sweet mother, Betty Winterhalt.
Nice.
My mom is she doesn't perform as a musical artist, but she does play ukulele. She plays in a ukulele club, and she does a bunch of acting. She's in a vaudeville group and a whole bunch of other stuff. So she's joining me tomorrow. The live stream is 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it's a great way, if you didn't have anything planned for your mom, you can send her the link and say, hey, Mom, let's watch the show together. It's a great Mother's
Nice.
Day thing that we're doing together. So, yeah, if you want to come check it out, it'll be very sweet and wholesome.
Excellent. And that's Tuesday.
As
that's
opposed
tomorrow.
to my other shows, which are
Yeah.
gnarly.
Debauchery. Full of
raunchy.
debauchery. Yes, gross. Yeah.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Tomorrow at 3, Winnipeg time.
Okay. Now you will be a little bit of an overlap with the Invisible Song Club, which starts at 3:30. But you can always come
Right.
back and watch our stuff later. Live music, I think, is always better than the live talking about it. But you can always take part in both. I guess we can.
Absolutely, yeah.
So there you go. So we do have a question that actually comes from the UK. It's now become from Muttley, actually, as a question that has now become a firm part of the show, so much so that it now, as of today, has its own bumper.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
There you go. My computer's having a little trouble playing that song, playing that video. There you go. So the question is, sausage sarnie or bacon butty?
Wow. What an incredible question.
You can thank Muttley for this question.
I love that it has its own introduction video. Oh, man.
Oh man.
To be honest, I'm probably a lot more of a bacon person, so yeah. It's bacon.
Bacon, there you go. Excellent.
Yeah.
There
There
you
it
go.
is.
And we,
What if I did say I'm vegan?
well, then you have a vegan options. You can have your vegan bacon or whatever.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
This is true.
But I did
Wow.
confirm beforehand that you weren't, so I didn't offend with that.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
Apparently, Mark, that made Muttley's day. Thank you,
We-
Muttley, for adding this question to our
it did come out a bit-
repertoire.
So it did come out a bit jottery. I think I have it at a too high resolution, but next I'll scale that down so it runs a bit smoother for next week. So there we go. Right, we are 5 minutes
awesome.
left, and we did promise Ryan's song.
Here we
So
go.
are we ready? Here we go. So sit back and enjoy.
Why not?
Oh, did you want to introduce it to Ryan, or should we go straight into it?
I'll give a quick just a quick whip through here. Most people are familiar with the sort of the background. Before I met my wife, obviously I had been in the dating scene, and I had met this girl, and we went on this date, and we were just kind of laughing and joking and sort of ironically making fun of hipsters because we were both very hipstery at the time. I know, amazing. I once was a hipster. Yes, that's confessions of a former hipster. Anyways, the phrase practicing pretentiousness got out. I don't know, somebody said it, I think she did. And I said, hey, that's a great line. And she said, yes, you should use that in a song, because she knew I was a songwriter or a musician. I said, sure, I'll use it. And but I only if I can mention you by name in the song. And she said, sure. And then 2 weeks later, I had a song for her, and her name was Jenna. I won't say her last name. Not that she's watching or is in any way connected, but Winnipeg's a small, big city. So this is Jenna's song, and it was and the kicker was I didn't get a second date. Well, I didn't get a third date out of it. I got a second date. I didn't get a third date. So
Okay. So hopefully I've got this set up right. We've got a slideshow of some It's All in the Mind performances, but I didn't have any of just Ryan. So here we go.
Lana's got a new set of Uggs to wear, with satin black tights and short-cut hair. She's walking through the village streets with indie rock charts so artsy. She's practicing pretentiousness to fit into the crowd she's with. She rolls her eyes with half a smile and joins the masses alone all the while. Now she's got a new scene that she's in, surrounded by people, but are they friends? She's at a show and she's screaming loud the price she's paid to be alone in a crowd. She's practicing pretentiousness to fit into the crowd she's with. She rolls her eyes with half a smile and joins the masses alone all the while. Where's the girl with the soothing smile? She's disappeared, it's been a while. Her big blue eyes will try to hide those deep dark sighs and the tears she's cried. She's practicing pretentiousness to fit into the crowd she's with. She rolls her eyes with half a smile and joins the masses alone all the while.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. According to Chris Lady, teenage heartthrob Ryan, Surf City.
You can all return from the edge of your seats now.
So, Elna, was it worth the wait?
I hope so. Daddy doll merch. There you go. Oh, man. Yeah, no, I picked that particular song. Oh, wait, here we go. Here's Elna. Never ever can you say you can't sing again. This song is awesome. By the way, Mark, you look better in gray hair.
Okay, Elna, I think you need to fix your monitor. Is whatever you're watching on, the color's off, because this is jet black. Sorry, it's jet black. Here it is. Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, that's you're all too kind. You have no idea. I was so nervous to bring that up. Oh, we've got a visitor here. Hi, sweetie. Are you gonna come up?
Show stealer.
Yeah, here we go. Can you say hi? There's Mr. Mark, and can you say hi to Lana?
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name? Can you tell everyone your name? Oh, you want to be a little shy?
I cannot.
Okay. All right. I'll see you in a little bit. You just come to say hi? Okay. Here you go. That's my oldest. That's my little sweetheart.
Indeed.
So
Elna says, "Hell yes, so worth it. Thank you." I'm assuming that was to the song and not to your daughter. Okay, well, we have hit the top of the hour. That went as fast as it usually does for us behind the cameras. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thanks for the lovely, wonderful comments in the chat there, and I'll go back and read the other conversations that were going on around the specifics of the show. So thank you very much, everybody. Very big thank you, Lana, for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Absolutely a pleasure. A lot of fun. And so I think just you got the live stream on Facebook at 3 o'clock tomorrow.
Yep.
So check that out, everyone, because we've got Song Club tomorrow afternoon as well, 3:30. And I think next, what do we have? I forget who we have next week. Welcome to the Madhouse is back on Wednesday. I may or may not be hosting with Adam. We'll find out. We'll see what my work schedule's like. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us, and we will catch you next week. Thanks so much, and see you then. Bye-bye.
Oh, the invisible man.